This close to Halloween, it's appropriate that we are interviewing a cozy mystery author, Annie Adams. I am so excited. You're going to just love Annie. She writes delightful, cozy mysteries, definitely with a little bit of romance mixed in. Remember, if you make a comment or ask a question in the comment section below, you will be entered to win a copy of Annie's book, Perilous Arrangements, or my book, Jessie and James. I'd like to show you Annie's cover because it's so darling, and it'll give you kind of a sense of the kind of romances that Annie writes. They are so much fun, so delightful. You're just going to love them. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Annie Adams. Hi, Annie. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you here. Annie is one of my really good friends, and I just think she's amazing. So why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am actually a florist is the main thing that I do. I own a little flower shop, and my stories, I wrote a flower shop mystery series. So kind of hand in hand, you know, they always say, write what you know. So that's something that I know. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. So your flower shop, is that how you kind of decided you want to start writing? You had adventures at your flower shop, or did that just seem like a really good vehicle for what you're writing?
So I've always enjoyed reading. I was a voracious reader as a kid. And I always thought in the back of my mind, like a lot of people do, oh, you know, someday when I write a book, I'm going to do this. And so then when I got in the flower business, sometimes you wouldn't believe the weird things that happen, just human nature. Sometimes we are weird people. And so I thought, oh my gosh, that has to go in a book. So actually, one of my friends who you're going to interview, she was working with me at my shop for a while because she actually was in that business too. And so I would talk about, oh, I just read this book that I like, and can you believe this happened? I've got to put that in the story. And so she said, okay, well, why don't you? You know, and so she had just become the president of our chapter of Romance Writers of America. And so she invited me to come to a meeting and kind of see what we do. And
sorry, something just fell. Okay.
So that your books are speaking to you on your shelf in the background.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So that's so I went and just started writing a little bit and going to little critique groups, and that's how it started.
Tell me one story that appears in your books that actually happened to you. Can you think of one off the cuff?
Yeah. So in my first book, this really happened, and I think people would not believe me. There is the delivery van. I had a driver, and he came back from deliveries, and he was gone a really long time, and he shouldn't have been gone that long, but whatever. And then maybe about 20 minutes later, one of my wholesalers he brings a bucket truck, they call it. He would bring by a truck full of flowers that I could pick from. And my friend Leslie went out there to pick the flowers that we needed for the day. As they were standing out there, they heard this huge sound, and like an exploding sound. And one of the tires had exploded, had blown up on my van next to where they were standing. And so then I believe the other side, the back tires, both of them popped. So I don't know what he did. I don't know where he went, but that really happened. And so I just kind of played it. And of course I you know, added to what really happened, but that really happened. There are a few other examples throughout my books. I try and put in real things. Of course, I change, you know, who's there and who it happened to, but all of my books have real things that have happened.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I was trying to decide, do you consider your books like cozies? Are they
Yes.
romantic suspense?
No, they're cozy
Oh,
mysteries.
okay.
They do have a romantic thread running through them.
Mhm.
And hopefully, you would say adventure. Janet Ivanovich, I love her books, and I really kind of like the stylings of hers. So I feel like my voice, I have a lot of her kind of pacing in what I write. And so I think she calls it adventurous mystery or something like that. The word adventure is in there, and that's
Okay.
kind of injecting it with the humor and
Yeah.
fun.
I read your first book and it was so delightful.
Oh,
I
thank you.
loved it. So,
Thank
and
you.
tell me the name of it. I can't remember.
So the first book in the series it's the Flower Shop Mystery Series.
Mhm.
Uh, it's called The Final Arrangement.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
So thank
And I
you.
remember that story about the tires exploding.
Yeah. Yeah, it really happened. So
And as I recall, your delivery boy was really funny, and he didn't last the whole book, did he?
no,
Okay.
no, he didn't last very long at my shop either. So
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, so tell us about this book that we're talking about today.
it's so the same series. It's the latest book that I have out in that series, and it's Prom Time. So there are some real stories in that one too.
So
Um,
I have to tell the readers that um, Annie and I worked together in our Utah Romance Writers group, and she could never do anything during prom time. It was like
no,
the worst time of the year. She was so busy.
it's a busy time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're kind of sandwiched in between major holidays,
Mm.
Valentine's and Mother's Day and Memorial Day. And so interlaced every weekend in between, you usually have a prom at one of the local schools. So, in a normal week, you might have, I don't know, in the tens of people that come into your store, maybe. And now you have 100 or 200 people coming through your store if it's a really big dance, or if like several schools in the area have them all on the same weekend. So um, it's kind of a busy, frantic time. And the prom's a big event in a lot of people's lives in school, at least in American high schools. I don't know in other countries, but um, it's a big event that a lot of people remember from when they're in school. So a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves, or emphasis or emotion is attached to the prom.
Yes.
So in this book, it's prom time and the prom gets canceled. And so it's a devastating blow to the flower shop. So our amateur sleuth kind of is poking around to kind of see why and how they can get it back going. And in the meantime, the people she gets involved with around this mystery happens.
I remember in the first book, she had kind of a love interest. Does
Mm-hmm.
he show up throughout the whole series?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
they finally get together?
Well, should I say that or not? No, they do.
Okay,
They do. Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've not been able to think of stories that don't have the element of romance in them. And it's not a romance per se, but I think, and we've talked about this with most books, there is a romantic element, I would say, in
I
thrillers,
I
and
agree. That's
yeah.
you said that. That's in that song in Aida, Elton John, where he says every story is a love story.
So my main character is named Quincy McKay, and she has this kind of fussy mom she's kind of and my book is set, my story is set in where I'm from in northern Utah. Um, and so we have a big kind of, I'd say, a DIY pioneer ethic. You know, we do things for ourselves, and we learn how to make things, that kind of a thing. So Quincy says, my mother was the Picasso of potatoes, the Manet of macaroni, and the Renoir of repurposing. So
That's so, I wondered, so I've met your mom and she's delightful and her name is Jennifer.
yeah.
And did you base your character mom?
No.
Okay.
No, this mom is kind of a naggy. She loves her kids, but she kind of nags them and gives them a talking down sometimes, and is always kind of saying, you know, when are you going to do this? Or, oh, I can't believe you did this. And in fact, one time my mom, she read the books and she said, is that how you see me? And I was like, oh my gosh, no, it's made up. It's fictional. Just an amalgamation of different characters and personalities over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so last two questions. First, what is the worst movie you have seen that you think everyone should see?
I was wondering if you have one that you really think of. I mean, the worst movie that I can remember, and I don't know if it's because we were just in a bad mood when we went and saw it years ago. It was called Clifford, and it was supposed to be a comedy, and it was just really dumb. But I would never make anyone go see it.
Never recommend it. So mine it's this movie called Troll 2, and it's this weirdest, I think it was made in Utah, and it's so weird and so bad. It's hilarious. I mean, we laughed. It's supposed to be a horror movie, but we just laughed the whole way through.
So I actually have another book in my series called So Then There Were None. And it's based on, it's kind of an homage to Agatha Christie, who's one of my heroes as far as writing. Yeah. And you know, the mystery style that she has, the cozy mystery. So her book, And Then There Were None.
Yes.
Everyone's in a room and the murderer is among them, and they have to figure it out. So I kind of wrote my book, So Then There Were None, comes before Perilous Arrangements, in that style. So
cute, fun, so fun. Yeah. Well, okay, here's the last question. You're stuck on a desert island. Do you pick a lifetime supply of toilet paper or chocolate?
Yeah, I went with toilet paper. That was a no-brainer. 2020 told us.
Yeah,
you gotta go with the toilet paper.
You know, I didn't even think of that question in relation to 2020, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, so that is, yeah, that's what I'd pick too. So totally agree. Well, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us today. Remember, everyone, if you make a comment or ask a question, you'll be entered to win a copy of Perilous Arrangements and also a copy of my book. If you want to learn more about Annie and where to find your books, be sure and look up above. I've put some social media links and different things. Thank you so much for being here, Annie, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.